What am I talking about?
Your sister's going to jail. Have a little compassion.
Kim, would you stop taking pictures of yourself? Your sister's going to jail.
Chloe's gone.
Here, Kim, this one.
Hi everyone! Today we are going to be talking about the evolution of trashy reality TV shows. And I'm not talking about competition or love game shows. Those are great TV too, but we are going to be focusing on the gritty and ratchet shows like Jersey Shore, Bad Girls Club, any reality show involving the Kardashians, and lots more. We're going to be talking about how different the new reality TV shows are now compared to the past ones. So let's roll. So I am sure that you guys have probably come across some viral clips of these new reality TV shows of girls fighting each other, and lots of these girls becoming famous influencers online shortly after being on TV. This new era of reality TV is truly about bringing back nostalgia and a blast from all of our past. And I'm not sure how old all of my audience members are, but if you're around my age, the older Gen Z, then you grew up with the same shows on your TV screen as me. Growing up, I used to see peak reality TV with huge networks like MTV, VH1, TLC, you know, the actual established networks with a real huge production behind them. Peak reality TV was really watching Jersey Shore cast have rowdy, reckless fun in their early 20s and just laughing at all the entertainment that they provided for us. It was for sure representative of 2000s culture, and they set trends back then with their iconic outfits, infamous hairstyles and spray tans, and dumb one-liners. This show really made the entire cast famous to this day, and they still continue doing cast reunions and reboots. I honestly don't mind because Jersey Shore was always a guilty pleasure of mine. Another reality TV show under MTV was The Hills, which basically featured a bunch of rich West Coast kids that have a ton of drama within their friend group, and it's all documented on screen. And this show was a spin-off from Laguna Beach series where the cast was in high school, so they follow our main girl Lauren Conrad to Hollywood, where she navigates her life with her fashion internship and relationship and friendship drama. So I don't know why I was so obsessed with this show, but it really was the early 2000s and it was pure entertainment. The Kardashian family was introduced to the world in 2007, and which I'm sure you all know who they are. Even if we don't want to know them, we still have to hear about them. And it follows the life of Kim Kardashian, a popular socialite who became famous for a certain tape, and her crazy, chaotic family. Basically, they're probably one of the wealthiest and famous families in America, and the many years that they have been on TV just shows their crazy and unrelatable lifestyles. Some of these former cast members from these old reality TV shows have admitted that a lot of the moments we see are scripted and set up by producers. I mean, that's obvious though, because their job is to keep the entertainment on screen, because no one wants to watch something that's boring. A lot of moments include producers setting up meetings or events and having two people who don't like each other attend the same setting so that drama can stir up. And this happens a lot on Basketball Wives, all of the Love and Hip Hops, and even The Hills, where the castmates mentioned that the producers would not let them leave the set until they reshoot this fight between the girls. One of the former girls from Bad Girls Club, Megan James, who was also on a season of Basketball Wives, actually said that she liked filming on Basketball Wives better because it's like a day job where you meet up for brunch, you film all the drama, and then you basically get to clock out and leave to go home for the day. Whereas for some of these reality shows, you're stuck with a group of strangers in a house for a period of time and you're just basically slowly going crazy. Who would have thought that millions of people would love watching a bunch of random strangers drama on TV? And that's when we started getting into the real rowdy TV and the infamous world of Bad Girls Club. Bad Girls Club, for those of you who do not know, was an early 2000s reality TV show where a group of women in their early 20s to sometimes 30s were all placed in a very nice mansion for about 3 months. The show aired in 2006 on Oxygen Network and went on for 17 seasons, and the last one airing in 2017. A group of women with totally different personalities, interests, all of these different quirks were put in the same house with each other for 3 months. No phones, TV, electronics, nothing allowed for them besides drinking and partying. So yeah, you can imagine the type of drama that was created through the 3 months. You're living with strangers, and most of these girls had anger issues and strong personalities, which is what created the entertainment. You put a bunch of hotheads in a house and strip them of any contact from the outside world, besides just one landline for 3 months. You're gonna get girls jumped, beds thrown in the pool, all of their belongings destroyed, girls sent to the hospital. It was basically a crazy social experiment for the reality TV world. And obviously they're called bad girls for a reason. And mind you, the show started before the age of social media. A lot of the earlier seasons seemed more authentic in the storylines and drama because they would actually have a reason to have problems rather than just fighting over catty and petty issues. The later seasons were still following the same formula of a group of strangers in the same house, but with social media, they could talk smack about each other and it would cause more tension at the reunions, which we're gonna get into reunions a little bit more later. Let's fast forward a bit because now that we are in this huge age of social media, everything is on there now. So no one really watches TV anymore. All of these cable companies are slowly going out of business. Now everyone's migrating over to streaming platforms and services for their entertainment. To some people, it's more worth it to pay monthly fees for a platform where you can watch your favorite movie or show instantly with just one click, not having to experience the old school way of flipping through channels and commercial breaks. Come to think of it, we are really spoiled now because I can't remember the last time I saw a commercial on TV. Anyways, reality TV is starting to migrate to streaming services and apps now too. With the evolution of trashy reality TV, they no longer need a green light from established networks like MTV and VH1 and all these other networks with huge productions. Now That's TV and Zeus Network are the two biggest social media networks right now, and they operate by releasing their shows on their app. Viewers need to download and pay a monthly subscription in order to watch their shows. And both networks basically go for the same theme of pointless drama, fighting, and rising influencers who want to make a bigger name for themselves. I will specifically be talking about Zeus Network because I do believe they are the more popular platform, and I'm not too informed on Now That's TV and their TV shows. One of the former popular bad girls, Natalie Nunn, who works closely with Zeus Network, actually brought back a spin-off type of show of bad girls called Baddies. The first 2 seasons were mainly for nostalgia purposes because she brought back a bunch of the bad girls from previous seasons, and the show was supposed to follow their lives now, where some are mothers, business owners, influencers, basically life after reality TV. A lot of fans didn't like the new concept though, because reality TV now seemed very inauthentic and forced in the sense that a lot of the drama seems premeditated and there is no real plot or storyline buildup. Again, with social media, a lot of these girls enter the house already knowing they have beef with one of the other roommates because, they saw a shady tweet or a comment. So essentially all the drama and beef was pre-planned, and without context, if someone were to just watch Baddies and see a bunch of women fighting, it would be confusing. There's no storyline or build-up anymore, and it's mainly just pointless and petty arguments that lead to violent fights. Baddies started in 2021 and has now evolved into a series where each season the girls go to a different part of the US for a couple weeks where they are filming. So eventually we got Baddies West, and now they are currently airing Baddies East. Instead of feeding into the nostalgia and only bringing back bad girls, Baddies hosts new auditions every year for thousands of baddies to earn their spot on TV. And these girls consist of aspiring actresses, rappers, artists, influencers. They want to use Zeus Network and Baddies to elevate their platform because it seems like everybody wants to be famous now. They actually have to audition on stage like they're on the X Factor. And most of the time, the cast is already pre-picked, and the auditions are just there to make fun of everybody and make them look like a fool. A lot of the times I have seen fans agree that the show itself is quite boring and that they rely on fights and arguments to make it entertaining. Although that is part of the show, it doesn't make any sense to drag out scenes and pretend to make the situation more serious than it is. Production is behind a lot of the instigating and the setups that make the viral moments, but when you really pay attention to the plot of the show, it lacks a storyline and a strong foundation that keeps us viewers invested. The early 2000s reality shows had provided context and storyline buildup, which created entertainment and left us invested every week. Also, since those girls didn't have social media back then, they couldn't spoil anything on the internet, and they probably were under contract anyways. Now that we see many of these reality TV influencers spilling the tea on their Instagram lives, YouTube videos, and just everywhere on the internet, it kind of ruins it for the viewers. By spoiling these moments and laying everything out on social media, we all know what is happening and it doesn't create any excitement or anticipation for the show. Why should we watch the show if all the drama on social media is more entertaining than the actual show? And that's a huge pet peeve of mine when it comes to these new reality TV shows, is that no one knows how to just move in silence. Quit airing out all the drama on Instagram when the show or the episode hasn't even been released yet. Now, reunions are another thing because they are an important part of almost every reality TV show. We've gotten some great moments from reality TV reunions that are still used as memes and references to this day. But nowadays, it feels like with a lot of these new reality shows that there's less dialogue and more on-site type of energy, and it just seems like there's no room for dialogue. The cast members are mainly fired up from whatever social media beefs that they have, and they just want to settle that in person. I totally get that, but what makes reunions good is the mixture of both dialogue and a little bit of fighting. So they really need to learn how to pick better hosts as well that will actually have these castmates sit down and have conversations. Not to mention, nobody dresses up nice for reunions anymore, and it just feels like a lot of these girls or a lot of these castmates just show up in sweats or whatever fighting clothes they have because that's what they go to do. And some shows definitely still do have castmates dressing up very classy on stage, but for the trashy shows, it seems like no one even tries to converse or even communicate. I will say that reality TV isn't the worst thing to have been created because it has brought us so many memorable icons. Some of my favorites include New York or Tiffany Pollard, Nene Leakes, Snooki, and Tammy Roman. And we've had some really great gems back in the early 2000s, and in my opinion, that was peak reality TV. I feel like we are entering an era where shows that existed like that cannot be brought back without feeling like it's forced or inauthentic. I know that a lot of these former reality TV stars try to come back and have cast reunions and reboots for nostalgia purposes, but it really depends on the network and the production behind it to see if it will go well. I'm not opposed to all these New Jersey Shore reboots, Baddie seasons, and all these new shows that are trying to revive our 2000s nostalgia. However, I do hope that they learn a thing or two about the social media boundaries and just knowing when to not say anything until the actual show airs. Social media has completely affected the evolution of trashy reality TV, in some ways good and bad. Alright, so that's all for my video about the evolution of trashy reality TV shows. Please let me know what your thoughts and opinions are. Do you watch any of these current reality shows on these new networks? Let me know below, and thank you all for watching, and I will see you all next time.